Hmm? Check it out. Check it out. 1 2 1 2 1 2. Y'all let me know if y'all can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me. What's up, Tori? Let me know if you can hear me. Put a 1 in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all can hear me. Put a 1 in the chat. Huh? Put a 1 in the chat. Okay. What's up, Jade? What up, y'all? Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Let's get it cracking, y'all. Let's get it cracking.
Way or another, we gon' get our family up about to get her. Brother, you was out of pocket, no, I didn't stutter. I drop it back in the trap when investing in the streets, your treasures recover. In this world, you could only rap one or two things that come to the butter. Whoa, you only rap one or two things that the guns in the butter. Whoa, you only rap one or two things that the guns in the butter. I drop it back in the trap when investing in the streets, your treasures recover. In this world, you could only rap one or two things that come to the butter. Sleeping patterns kinda complicated, ain't no time for wasting, we some entrepreneurs. I feeling like Scarface on top of the balcony, the word is yours. Took some losses, I was down bad. Napoleon complex, I'm mad, about to put the cam up in the clad bag. Signed, sealed, and delivered. Chicken dinners, so you roll with the winners. Taking over for the summer. I double back for the winter. I be with the scammers and spinners. Innovators in the middleman. All my riders got a dental plan. None of my shooters got Instagrams. Bang, bang. Got some rich headed out of bounds. Had to hop in the Renty to ride around. About to switch up the whiskers, they stalking now. Whispering body dropping on my side of town. Flick of finesse, known to stay up out the mess. Business is never personal. We can politic the rest. I got a plug and they made me a plug. All my moves on they need to know. Rapping weed got me speaking slow. Bet you pay attention when we speaking up. Give it drown, you gon' sink or you swim. In the field, we be getting it in. Type of pressure that took boys and the men. Fly got a family back at it again. Yeah. One way or another, we gon' get our family up about together.
Let's go.
Brother, you was out of pocket, no, I didn't stutter. I drop it back in the trap and investing in the streets, your treasures recover. In this world, you could only rap one or two things that come to the butter. Whoa, you only rap one or two things that the guns in the butter. Whoa, you only rap one or two things that the guns in the butter. I drop it back in the trap and investing in the streets, your treasures recover. In this world, you could only rap one or two things that come to the butter.
I was waiting to detonate, shake the room up as soon as the record play. Either way that you put it, the family gon' get it together. We setting the record straight, try just putting up numbers like every way. I'm surprised I ain't born for the summer league. I know coach would've put me in for the three. Poppin' smoke, bringing nothing but energy. Waking up to the sun, no more rainy days. I remember the times when they doubted me.
Hollywood. The Heaven Hollywood Experience coming to you live October 5th already, 2025. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me clearly. Got a lot of stuff to get into tonight. Make sure you hit the like button coming through the door. So, let's go. Sexy 60 in the building. Tori, checking me out on Twitch. Y'all make sure you add me on Twitch because shortly we're going to be doing all our lives on Twitch. Make sure if you do not have me on Twitch, add me right now. It's Twitch TV/Heaven Hollywood. All right. So, we're going to get into it. A lot of things we're going to be talking about tonight. Latto. Everybody thinks Latto is pregnant by 21 Savage. Last thing we knew, 21 Savage was married, but we'll see if we still don't know whether that is still a thing. Because I've not seen him or heard of him with his wife in a long time. And there was always rumors that was just a situational marriage in order to get his citizenship. We do know that Drake has already spilled the beans and said that he got his citizen, he got his green card. So maybe her job is done here as far as being his wife. But then on top of that, Latto, and we'll show you the footage and let you make your own decision. Latto seemingly responds to Cardi B's, leaked phone call. Now, again, I don't want to get nobody mad. I don't want to get nobody upset. I'm just going to say seemingly. I'm going to assume that this is new. I don't want people telling me, oh, that's old. This was pretty much showing today. So I'm going to assume that it's a new performance. All right. I'm also going to assume that y'all was in here lying to me the other day. Because when I said, if I was Latto, and y'all know I love Cardi B, but I said, if I was Latto, I'm not saying what Latto's going to do. But if I was Latto and I did not know about that phone call and I just found out about that phone call that night with everybody else, I couldn't fuck with Cardi B anymore. That's just me personally. Now, if Cardi B came to her behind the scenes and spoke to her like, listen, I was wilding. I had that bitch Ice Spice on the phone. I was mad at her. I was trying to get her on the phone because I heard she was talking wild shit about me. And then I just got overexcited and mentioned you. If she went to Latto, Latto's supposed to be her girl, her sister. Latto's supposed to be her sister. You supposed to pull your sister aside and let her know that you said those things. Because you're living in a times where everybody tapes everybody. There's no way that Cardi B could not think they're probably taping me. When Ice Spice just not long ago got her text messages or whatever leaked when she was texting her friend about Nicki Minaj. All that stuff got leaked. Nicki Minaj was taped by Latto. Armand Wiggins was taped by Cardi B. Tasha K taped Lovely T and all these others. So it's been going on. And you're living in a time where everybody's going to tape everybody. So you had to know that phone call was taped. And if you know that phone call is taped and you know it's out there, in order to cover your tail, don't matter what Latto would have said at that moment, you got to let her know that I was talking about you. I didn't mean for it to come out talking about you, but I was just hot. I was mad, and then I said some stuff that I shouldn't have said. I mentioned you, but, you could tell by the time, we good, this, that, and the other. I don't want you to take it personal, but I'm going to apologize to you just in case it comes out, right? So at least if she never hears it, she won't know how bad it is. But then if she does hear it, at least she'll have been aware of it. That is why I believe Cardi B should have told her long before this thing came out, right? So now the other day in the chat, yeah, that's why I said Latto recorded Nicki. Latto recorded, I said Nicki Minaj was recorded by Latto. Now, the other day, when I was saying that I would not forgive Cardi B if I was Latto, I had some Cardi B fans in here saying, oh, Latto already forgave her. So I'm going around here. Listen. There's going to be times I know a lot. I don't know everything, right? And I can't catch everything. So if y'all rock with me, please, please, I beg of you, please don't give me any misinformation. Please don't give me any misinformation. I'm gonna tell you what she said, Jade, because if y'all rock with me and y'all come and tell me something, I'm gonna take it as y'all word. I'm gonna take y'all on your word. So I'm going around here. Latto already forgave Cardi, but I'm going on what y'all told me. I'm going on what y'all told me in this chat room. I don't remember who told me, but they said, "Oh, Latto said me and Cardi locked in. She forgave Cardi already." So I said, "Oh, okay. If she forgave her, ain't nothing else to say. If she forgave Cardi B, ain't nothing to say. I'm just speaking for myself." But now it come to find out that Latto did not say that. She did not say me and Cardi's locked in and forgave Cardi B. So y'all was in here giving me misinformation because y'all wanted that to be true. All right? So what happened was Latto said me and Cardi's locked in when Cardi released the song. When Cardi released the song. But remember, the song came out prior to that phone call leak. Prior to. Now we're going to take a look for Jade, right? Right. Thank you, Jade. So Jade, what Cardi B said in the leaked phone call was, "What you think I'm Latto? You think I'm P like Latto? I ain't Latto. I ain't no pussy. You think I'm a PB like Latto?" Right? So what the Cardi fans was trying to tell me was, oh, she was just saying she's not like Latto. Yeah, she probably was saying that, but you could have said that without adding the PB. You could have said, "Well, I ain't nice. I ain't Latto. I ain't nice. I ain't no nice girl. I ain't Latto." You didn't have to say I'm not P like Latto, because that makes me think if I'm Latto, oh, so you think just because I'm nice, I'm P? That's what you said when you got angry. So just because I didn't want to fight Ice Spice, I'm P. Now you calling me a PAB? Right? So that is what she said. And then she said it more than once. That's the thing that bothered me. She said she was like, "I ain't Latto, I ain't these other rap me." Then she said, "You think I'm Nicki?" Right. So I'm not I'll go in that mouth. When I see you, I'm going in that mouth. Right? So you didn't, if Latto is your friend, right? If Latto's your friend, you did not have to say that. You could have simply said, you know, Latto better than me. Like I ain't Latto. I'll F you up. Or something like that, right? But you didn't have to let it be known that you think deep inside, you think Latto is a P. All right. So here goes Latto. And since everybody is posting it, I'm going to assume it was today. Right? I'm just going to assume that because I don't want nobody to come and say, "Oh, no, that was last week." I'm just going to assume this was today. So let's go here I'm gonna share my screen. So for everybody that says that, there's a question of whether Latto is going to forgive Cardi B. She said, I'm telling you publicly I'm sorry, and then I'm going to privately buy you a bag. All right? Then she ended it with a bit. Now, Latto, unless you can tell me that Latto always does that, unless y'all can show me, right? Unless y'all can show me some footage of Latto always doing that, then there's some sort of smoke. If you want to prove that, oh no, she wasn't doing that to get at Cardi. Okay, so then show me some footage of Latto doing that before, saying pussy over and over and over again, P, and that's exactly what Cardi said about her. So she decided to say P, and then say bitch at the end. And then what other people told me was, to further that T, is that a lot of times, because of the crowd reaction, Latto plays Cardi B's verse. They said this time she didn't play it. Now, I'm sure Latto doesn't play her verse all the time, but if you and Cardi just put a record out, right? If she just put you on her album, and now you're doing y'all's remix live, I would think you would play her part, because you do it a lot. So, if you personally think especially the way she was saying it over and over and over and over and over again, she said that. But if Latto forgave her, then cool, because as big as Cardi is, she didn't need to publicly apologize. That's big of Cardi. Name another person doing that. No, but here's my only thing, right? And Shonda, and here's my only thing. And again, I don't have to say this, but I always want to use this as a precedent, because I don't want people to think, oh, you're against Cardi, because everybody knows that I'm not. Everybody knows I'm a big Cardi B fan, right, of her music. However, I'm going to be honest with you. If Cardi had came out and apologized to Latto before we heard this, right? If we had been like, wait a minute, what video, what phone call? Because she knew the phone call existed. She knew the phone call existed. And like I said, Cardi B ain't no dummy. So she had to know that they were recording the call, because everybody records calls now. And she had to know that there is a chance that phone call could get out. So before it even gets out, I'm going to let my girl know I brought her name up. Even if she would have did it in private. But she did not do it in private, right? Because you can tell, or else she would not have had to. She said, so I publicly apologize, and I'm going to privately buy her a bag. So what, you going to buy me a bag now? What, a guilt bag? You going to buy me a guilt bag, sis, instead of just walking up to me and giving me a bag? Why are you going to buy? Have you bought me a bag before? Unless it was my birthday or something like that. So why are you going to give me a bag? Because the whole world heard that phone call? Then she went and copyrighted the phone call and had the phone call removed. I had to do my video over. I had that phone call in my video. They went and copyrighted the phone call. So everybody that posted that phone call, it got blocked by YouTube. Why? Because she didn't want that phone call out, right? Because for two reasons. What has been the main thing people have always given Cardi the credit for, and they always had this against Nicki? Cardi is a girl's girl. Cardi rocks with the other girls. Cardi rocks with this one, rocks with that one. And Nicki don't do that. Cardi embraces the other girls. Right? But now that this phone call got out, now a lot of people are gonna say, no, wait a minute, like my brother. Take my brother, he don't have a dog in the fight, right? He's not into all of the female rap beef, whatever. He heard the phone call and he was like, if I'm Latto, I feel some type of way about that. That's like if I find, like, I got my people, right? I got my people who's cool. This happened to me. This happened to me. For anybody that was around back then, this happened to me online, and I cut the person off. And I don't even know the person. But if you are in my DM and I've lent you money before, right? There's been people who's come to me, yo, I hate to ask you this, but I'm short on my life. If it's somebody that's been rocking with me from the beginning and supporting me, and they ask me for something, and if I can help them, I'm gonna help them, right? So there was a person who's coming to me, asking me for shit, right? This was a couple of years ago. Meanwhile, they were in other people's DMs talking mad shit about me. And I didn't know, right? So when I found out that person was talking mad shit, I was like, wait a minute. The person that I lent money to pay their lights? And you was talking shit about me? Like, wow. That's crazy. So I know, but people were calling her a girl's girl. You know what I'm saying? People were calling her a girl's girl because, she would get along with Latto, get along with Glorilla. She was rocking with Megan. Megan was saying how cool Cardi was. You know what I mean? And like I said, she not saying that because Latto can afford bag, because Latto is a millionaire too. But what I'm saying is like I said, so that was a guilt bag. That's a guilt bag. Like she said, I'm going to publicly apologize, then I'm going to privately buy her a bag. That's like an apology bag or whatever. I apologize. Here's a bag. Here's a bag for apologizing. Right? So if I have a friend, and like I said, I felt some type of way, and I had never even met these people online, right? That come in my chat room every day. But if you come in my chat room smiling at me, what up, have this and another, talking to me in DM like everything's good, then I find out after I done lent you money and this, that, and the third, and I found out later on that you was in my ops inbox talking shit about me to my ops. I was like, wow. Latto wasn't talking about Cardi. Hey, again, how do you know that, Mimi? How do I know that? You came in here. I think it was you, or it may have been somebody else. I don't want to blame you, but you came in here the other day and told me, had me going around spilling misinformation because I'm believing what you said. You came in here and told me the other day that Latto said, oh, me and Cardi, Latto forgave Cardi and said me and Cardi locked in. That didn't happen. She said that before the phone call leaked. She said that when they dropped the song. She didn't say that after the phone call leaked. She said that when she dropped the song. So now, because everyone is reporting this, it is my duty to report it. And I said, that's why I got a question mark. Latto shading Cardi, it's a question. It's not a statement. So if it ain't true, it'll come out that it ain't true. But as of right now, like I told people, unless you can tell me, unless you can show me some footage of Latto doing that some other time, why would she do that? Who could she be talking about? She done made up with Ice Spice. So why would Latto, after Cardi said the P word, why would Latto just out of nowhere start saying, money, 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 and then say, use the B word? Good night. Night, honey. Love you. See you in the morning. Why would Latto do that? And like I said, unless you can tell me, unless you can show me some footage, unless you say, nah, she always does that. Here's the time a month ago when she did it. So if she's done that before, then that's something totally different. If she's done it before, that's something totally different. And I'm not even saying that she was talking about Cardi. I have to report it just in case she was. That's why I have a question mark. But Latto has not publicly came out and said that she accepts Cardi's apology. When she said me and Cardi's locked in, she made that statement the night the song dropped. That's when she made that statement. I could always say, well, maybe she's talking about Ice Spice, but her and Ice Spice are cool now. And it's just such a coincidence that Cardi was the one saying P word, P word, P word just now. And she got, and one thing, Mimi, that you got to remember, social media puts the battery in a lot of people's back. And you know Latto is on social media saying, people saying, if Latto forgive Cardi B for this, then she really is a P word. If she forgive her for letting that girl play in her face, then she really is a P word. These people care about what people on social, it's sad. I don't know why they do, but they just do. They care about what people say on social media. They can say they don't all they want, but they all do. The ones that don't care are the ones that don't have a social media. Ponytail don't care about what they said on Twitter. That's why she don't have one. Beyonce don't come on Twitter. She'll come on Twitter to post something. Jay-Z, they don't care what people say on Twitter. People that have a Twitter and are active in it, or have an Instagram and active, they care about what people on social media think. Right? It's the same thing like Cardi and Megan. Right? Now, if you notice, remember when it was, that's my sister, we talk all the time. She was calling Wave her nephew. Wave was calling her Aunt Megan. She went on Cardi's show. But did you hear that recent interview? She said, I don't talk to Megan much anymore. I thought that was very interesting. Why not? Why not? That's your people, right? That's your sister. Before they said, we talk all the time. Me and Megan talk all the time. She hit me up like, girl, what you doing? They used to post each other's stuff, like each other's stuff, right? But then when she spoke to her, she said, Megan, I love her work ethic. I don't talk to Megan much anymore. I said, whoa. I noticed that. A lot of people probably, because they saw Megan like the when she posted who's the drama, Megan makes sign the drama, whatever, because WAP is on the album. But I noticed it. Why don't y'all talk much anymore? Ain't that your sister? If you don't talk to somebody much anymore, there's a reason why. But that's neither here nor there. We talk about Latto. So we will find out if Latto posts that bag. Here's that bag Cardi got me. We'll find out. But like I said, if she forgives Cardi B, that's cool. I'm just speaking from my point of view. From my point of view. If you cool with me like that, if you got respect for me, why are you calling me a PAB behind my back? I don't give a damn how mad you are at Ice Spice. Why would you pick me to say you ain't Latto? Why did you say I ain't Megan? Or why don't you say I ain't? She did say, the other person she said is I ain't Nicki. So by you saying I ain't Nicki and I ain't Latto, so what you think we both pussy? Or else why would you say me? Like of all the people, you couldn't say I ain't Lola. I ain't Malibu Mitch. I know that she posted I Am the Drama because WAP was on the album. I know that. Right? But Cardi B said out of her own mouth, I don't talk to Megan much anymore. And before that, it was Megan's crazy. We talk all the time. It's like, I just found that interesting. Right? I just found that interesting. So I'm talking personally for me. I told a story about I found out some people that was in my chat room that had been watching me, was viewing me, and now they don't watch me anymore because I called them out, but was rocking with me from day one, has come to me when they were in down and out. Nigga kicked them out the house. One's lights was getting ready to get cut off. I hate to ask you this, but please, can you help me out? And I'm like, okay, they've been rocking with me, from the beginning. They sent me a couple of cash apps over the years. They supported all the stuff I did. If I can help them out, sure, I'll help you out. What you need? Your lights getting ready to cut off. Boom. Okay, here, hold that. Didn't even ask for it back. Right? Then later on, I find out they was up in my ops DM talking shit about me. And I don't even know that person. And I felt some type of way. So trust me, Latto felt some type of way. Ain't no way in hell. And she's a woman too. Latto felt some type of way. No, what she said was, whenever I called Megan, she shows up. That's what she said. All right. Whenever I called Megan, she was always there. If I say I need her, she shows up. But again, so what? They're just super busy all of a sudden, I guess. I guess that's why they don't talk, right? I got the same thing with Glorilla, who was just popping her ass up on stage with Chris Brown, a person who was constantly says free Tory Lanez, who happens to be the one who shot the gun that hit Megan Thee Stallion, and now Glorilla's on stage with him. But all that unfollowing and stuff didn't mean nothing, right? See, there's always going to be signs. There's always going to be signs. When they had that little unfollowing thing a few months ago, and then remember Megan posted the picture with Beyonce and cropped Glorilla out of it? Y'all remember that? And then they unfollowed each other and then followed each other back. And everybody said, oh, they followed each other back. No problem. No problem. Right? You wouldn't understand. What? Talking behind somebody's back? I just gave you, Mimi, I just gave you an explanation. I just gave you a scenario where that happened to me. So how do I not understand? Talking behind somebody's back is talking behind somebody's back. And then not telling me about it, so you must have knew it was wrong. You must was just hoping it never came out. Because if it was just not a big deal, why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you tell me about it? If it wasn't a big deal, why didn't you tell me about it? You know? If it was no big deal, I still mess with Latto, then how come you didn't mention to me? Why I got to find out with the world? And now everybody looking at me crazy, like, you gonna forgive her? You probably don't even know. Her sister might be like, wait a minute, I know you ain't gonna let that rock. And you know how Latto is with her sister. If her sister comes to her and be like, girl, I know you ain't letting that rock. You don't know what Latto's people are telling her. Like if you let her say that and you just, let her buy you a bag and you forgive her, then people going to forever play in your face. And then you going to be forced to forgive them. They say, you forgave Cardi. How you don't forgive me? We'll see. Like I said, that's the reason why it's a question mark. Was Latto shading Cardi? Y'all can put down in the comments on the video later, or y'all can put right now whether y'all think she was shading Cardi or not. All right. Now, hold on. Here we go. So I wasn't even paying attention, right? Because I heard JT's tracks. I wasn't all that impressed. People online was talking, even Joe Budden podcast was saying how she got Cardi, this other. I was not that impressed by JT's tracks. But according to social media, JT's tracks was #1 on iTunes. Some people said #2 and Rising. Some people said took screenshots and showed #1. If that's AI, I don't know. You just can never tell these days. But they were saying, oh, JT's tracks was rising, and now all of a sudden they're removed. Right? So, again, I didn't know that JT's tracks was getting that much airplay because I played them once, and then I was like, to me, they're not that great. But everybody else is gassed up. I'm sure it's people who don't like Cardi B. Right? So now, I'm going to read from both sides. So Pop Flop, who is probably, if I'm not mistaken, Pop Flop is more of a Nicki Minaj based page. So let's see. Pop Flop says, JT's new song, No Hook, and what's the other one called? Keep Coming, have been removed from Apple Music and iTunes after gaining traction. Now, that's what they said now, okay? After gaining traction, they've been removed, right? JT's new songs, No Hook and Keep Coming, have been removed from iTunes and Apple and iTunes after gaining traction. Now, if I look up on the same page, okay, if I look on the same page and I scroll up, now this site is more of a hate Nicki Minaj page. And they have a totally different report. They say, JT's underwhelming diss track to Cardi B was reportedly removed from iTunes due to botting activity engineered by the failed Latto and team. So you can tell this is a hate Nicki Minaj page. Apple Music is one platform that is intolerant to bots and artificial streaming. Now, here's my only issue with that. Then they had something here that says, yes, Apple Music will remove songs and penalize artists if they are discovered to have inflated their stream counts through botting or artificial streaming. Apple has taken a firm stance against this type of fraudulent activity to maintain a fair and legitimate platform for all artists. Now, while that may be true, this song came out Friday. Okay? Right? When did she drop this song? Friday? Maybe before Friday. When did she drop this song? Anybody tell me, when did JT drop her diss record? I'm going to go into that too. Right? Thursday night. Okay. Going into Friday, right? So this song has been up through, this happened yesterday or this morning. The song was up a little bit over 48 hours. All right. So while that might be true, that is way too soon for them to figure that. They need at least a week. They cannot figure that out in 2 days. They cannot figure that out in 2 days. All right. So what I'm going on, the story that I believe is the true story is the Stephon Diggs sent a cease and desist because she was basically calling him, saying that he was messing with that guy on record. I'm going to take that because the whole Cardi got it removed is absolute cap. So I was trying to tell these people online that's saying Cardi B had her song removed, right? So I'm like, wow. 1 minute y'all say Cardi's broke. Atlantic got her on hold. Atlantic is done with her. She's in debt, right? She's in debt to Atlantic. They're about to freeze her. They're about to put her, if she doesn't do well here. Her tour is flopping, but Cardi B has enough power and money to go pay Apple and iTunes to remove a song that was doing well, according to y'all. So Apple and iTunes is going to take money out of their pockets because Cardi B went to them and said, remove the song. Y'all gotta be smarter than that, man. Like, y'all have to be smarter than that. That's delusional thinking. That's delusional thinking. That's delusional thinking. So, if any story, I'm saying this, somebody said you believe Tasha K. I don't even know where that came from. I didn't know Tasha K said it. But if any of those stories are true, right? The first thing I would have thought was, well, maybe they removed it because it was performing poorly. But everybody's sending me screenshots of the song being number one. Because that's the first thing that I thought. I said, well, maybe they removed it because it wasn't performing well. Oh, that song was on its way to number one. Then they send me these screenshots. I never believed the Cardi story. That just doesn't make sense. Cardi B does not have the power to make Apple. And on top of that, Cardi B is not worried about that song. That song would probably do good because the Barbs are trying to amp it up. That song was going to do good, what, for one day? And then once all of the extreme streaming wears down, like nobody would be thinking about that song. So I seriously doubt that Cardi B is going to waste millions of dollars on a song by JT. I just can't see it. And on top of that, a company like Apple and iTunes, who she has no stock in, they're not going to allow Cardi B to remove a song unless JT had something in there that Cardi can copyright, like how they did with Sheetha. They took Sheetha down because it was the Ether beat. But I don't think JT copied and used any sample of Cardi B or anything like that. So there's nothing Cardi B could use to get that thing taken down. And that song was not that lit for Cardi B to be spending money. Oh, I want to have this taken down. Like, come on, man. To block Meek, it could have. Didn't Drake get his label to block Meek? What do you mean? What do you mean to block Meek? How can Drake's label block Meek unless Meek was on the same label? He didn't block Meek. You mean when Meek put out that diss record? He didn't block me. Meek took that shit down because nobody liked it. That song was out. Drake didn't get anybody to block Meek. Meek was on Atlantic. Drake was on Young Money Republic Universal. So no, whoever said that, that's a lie. He didn't get anyone to block Meek. Meek took that shit down because nobody liked it. It didn't have no motion. Like these, that's why it makes me laugh when everybody act like other record labels have the power to block another record label. Like they'll be looking at them like, are you crazy? Now, can they go to a radio station and have them not play that record? Yeah, they could do that. But Drake is on Universal. Imagine Universal calling up Atlantic and say, we're going to block Meek Mill. Don't let him put that record out. Can't do that. He's signed to Atlantic. If Drake could block records, don't you think he would have blocked They Not Like Us? He would have blocked that. Or he would have blocked Story of Adidon when dude came out and told the world his business. He would have had that blocked. They can't block something from another record company. I don't believe for 1 minute Cardi B is even thinking about. I'm sure she listened to it. But that song was not that lit that Cardi B's like, oh. And on top of that is JT. How much is it gonna sell? Now I know the Barbs was trying to inflate the numbers. Oh, it's number one on iTunes, to throw in Cardi B's Magnets. It would have stayed number one for a couple of hours. Nobody would have been up all night streaming JT. So why would Cardi B even bother? So if I believe any of those stories, I don't even really believe the Stefan Diggs story either. Because if that's the case, why didn't Stefan Diggs send a cease and desist to Tasha K? She had the nigga on her show. So he's going to send a cease and desist to JT, but didn't send it to Tasha K, and she's the one who pretty much put the story out, or didn't send it to the dude who's going around telling everybody? Right? So if she said laugh now, hey, maybe it was Stefan Diggs. But Cardi B does not have any premise to get a song removed from Apple or iTunes, especially a song that's doing well. Money is everybody's bottom line. Why you want us to take this down? Why? Now, I'm sure Cardi B didn't mind it being taken down. That's probably why she said laugh now. But I seriously doubt Cardi B had that record taken down. Like, according to everybody who don't like Cardi B, she ain't got no power. She ain't really got no money. Like, she's in debt. She has no impact on hip hop. So how could she get Apple and iTunes, billion-dollar companies, to agree to take down music? That didn't happen. That didn't happen. The botting thing would make sense to me, but it's just too soon. They need at least a week to figure out body's been going on. Like, they're not going to be able to figure that out in 2 days. That's why when people get their stuff filtered, that's why it doesn't get filtered to the end of the week. All the data comes back. Right? And I would not doubt for 1 minute that JT's song was botted, because she had a lot of Bobs and anti-Cardi people streaming that song. I'm sure they were streaming it from 10 different devices. They were probably botting it or what have you. So I don't put anything past these fans. I don't put anything past these fans. Especially fans of QOR. All right? Now, who believes that the songs were taken down because Cardi B took it down? Put a 1 in the chat if you believe it was Cardi B. Put a 2 in the chat if you believe it was Stephon Diggs. Put a 3 in the chat if you believe it was they took it down because Cardi B, Stephon Diggs, and what was my other one? Oh, body. So put a 1 in the chat. JT's label removed it. Okay, possible. But why would they remove it though? If it was doing well? Mimi, maybe you can answer that. If the song was doing well, everybody claimed it was doing so well. Why would JT's label remove it? Was it on streaming services? Maybe that's why. Because remember, they did that to Drake. Universal. Remember, Universal removed Drake's record. So maybe if this song, well, it was on iTunes, on Apple. That's a streaming service. I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna find out. JT is on. Wait, let me look through my phone. Who's JT under? She's under Q. Q. What label JT under? She's under QC. Well, I said if you listen, see, Mimi, what you have to do, you got to start listening. You have to get out of your feelings and listen to what I said. Did I not say, according to them? I said that about 10 times. I said people were sending me screenshots of this song being number 1 and number 2. Now, if it was AI, it was AI. If it was Photoshop, I don't know. But I know I got about 10 different screenshots of people saying, look, it was number 2, Heb. Look, it was number 1. So that's where I got it from. I didn't just make it up. Right? I didn't just make it up. Matter of fact, I might be able to see it here. Hold on. Hold on. So here it is, right here. Those numbers next to it mean, the numbers next to it mean what number it is on the charts, right? I don't get into iTunes and all that stuff. But if I'm not mistaken, the number next to it means that's the number it is on the charts, correct? If somebody can let me know if that's correct or not. The number next to it means the number it is on the charts, right? her label put too much money for JT to come along and mess up their money. JT's regular QC, Motown, Universal Music. Damn. She on the QC, Motown. She on the label, next to the label, next to the label, next to the label. So here's a screenshot of JT's song. It says JT's song, No Hook, rises to number 2. It was right under Magnet. It was right under Magnet. So that ain't performing bad. It's number 2. There it is right there. Right? So unless it was just her label, because we've seen Drake's label do that, but I don't think it was performing bad. Looks like it was performing pretty good, actually. So maybe her label removed it, right? So then, or maybe since they said JT removed her rants, maybe it was Stefan Diggs. Somebody made her remove them rants, because even if especially if somebody else removed her songs, she wouldn't remove the rants. Now I don't follow JT, so I don't even know if this is true or not. Maybe y'all can go look. But according to somebody on Twitter, JT deleted her rants and took down those songs. Should have just shut the F up and dropped. Now look. So let me see. Hold on. Maybe I am following JT. Hold on. JT, what's up with you? You out here deleting shit? What's going on? What's going on, JT? Did she block me yet? Nope. Okay, so I am following JT. She hasn't blocked me yet. I thought maybe she would have blocked me because I was laying into her about them damn diss records. That shit was trash. All right. So, let's take a look. I don't give a F Nation. Fake bitches hate it. Let me see where those rants were. All right, so she left up all the Partisan Fontaine stuff. Let me look under her replies. So she left all of the photo stuff up. This is where it started, guys. Don't let chlamydia be food. Okay, so all that stuff she was posting. Let me look under replies. So it looks as though like she erased the rants. So maybe her label told her, look, you don't want to be out here looking crazy. Don't mess up your album. Could have been anything like that. Is he a trick or is he broke? Broke because he a trick. Block me, ho. I'm not taking your advice. Do you defend me on here? I think she was talking to Carisha there. Or the other one. Santana. No, now what? Bitch, check my page. I'm never on here. I'm here now. Now what? Because I have no respect for him. Now what? F you too. I think she's talking about Santana there. All right, so she must have removed all her rants. You have to remove. I guess she removed all her rants. Okay. So that's the end of that. So JT removed her rants. I'm going to try to find out. I'm going to hit up QC. Do I got Q's number? Hold on. That's P, right? P is QC? Hold on. Is P from QC? Y'all can let me know in the chat. I think he's QC, right? Y'all, is P from QC? Ain't that the QC people? I always get TDE and then mixed up with QC. So, okay, P. Okay, I got P's number. Hold on. Okay. I'm going to try to find out what exactly happened with that. All right, what's next on the docket? Jay-Z. Okay. So, will Jay-Z ever respond to Nicki Minaj? And so, remember, I did a video, right? I did a video because I had heard about this Big Pimpin' song, right? Now, I also heard that Jay-Z is working on an album secretly. And I was just wondering, of all the stuff that's been said, I wonder will Jay-Z, he never ever responds to women. But Nicki says, no, I want the men to respond to me. I want to be considered like the men. So because she always says that, would Jay-Z on his album respond back, with one word, one bar to Nicki Minaj? I wonder. I wonder. Do I have any moderators in here? I wonder. Said, but always trolling the woman. Okay, so so Nita said, but always trolling, and you're talking about Jay-Z? So Jay-Z's not on social media, right? Jay-Z's not on social media. So, and I see this comment a lot. So let me get this straight. So y'all think, or Nicki Minaj fans think, right, that Jay-Z cleared the Cardi sample, cleared Imaginary Players sample because Cardi B and Nicki Minaj don't like each other? How would that benefit Jay-Z? Because Jay-Z done, you can't say she's trolling her online because Jay-Z doesn't come on Twitter. Jay-Z doesn't respond to anybody online. Like I said, Kanye West talked about his children and he didn't respond back. So you think that he is bent out of shape because Nicki Minaj said he owes her $100 million and she's talking about cases that don't even exist? It's about Kathy White. How many people mentioned Kathy White? He never responded to Jaguar, right? She's mentioned Kathy White so many times, and this kid and that kid, and oh, how come you're not justice for Ramirez Satterwhite? Let me find them lines. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember the lines that Jay-Z had in the Drake song? Let me see. Let me see something. So okay. It takes me to Love All. Right? Y'all remember Love All? Y'all remember what Jay said on Love All? Wait a minute. He said, hold on. He said, niggas want to kill me and y'all still with them. Niggas, y'all chill with him and y'all wonder why we not friends. Best thing I can do is not build with you when I could destroy you. That takes some effing discipline. I could send a team to come drill you. I got $1 billion or $2, and I know where the F you live. N-words gotta chill with talking gangster. You should just thank us. Humble yourselves a little bit. This ain't the same song that you knew once. I don't shine shoes, huh? This ain't what you want. All that back and forth on the internet. Nigga, we don't tennis that. Y'all gotta do something. Only thing we respect now is violence. Anything besides this, we playing violence. Niggas want to kill me and y'all want me to be friendly? Niggas want sympathy after they wanted to end me. Be those closest to it, be the very ones that envy. Shout out to the family. I don't want no friends no more. Not many understand me. Everybody wants something. You know the price of everything, but the value of nothing. This nigga the GOAT. This nigga is the GOAT. Now, Jay always said, right? Jay always said, people have a problem with me. It's always what I didn't do for you. It's not what I did to you. Whenever they have a problem with me, it's always about what I didn't do for you. But they can never tell you what I did to you. So when Jay-Z's album drops, right? When just catching up real quick, but no rap girls like each other, period. XAY. What's up, XAY? So when I asked the question, will Jay-Z respond? He might throw a general shot, something along those lines of, something around those lines where if I always saying I owe him something. Remember the time he took the shot when he said, niggas say they created Hove, said that they made Hove. He never mentioned Dame Dash's name, but Dame Dash is the one who said, oh, he made Jay-Z. That's okay. Make another Hove. So I could see him saying something along the lines of, if niggas owe me money, I'd be up in the courthouse. Or something along those lines. I could definitely see him saying that. If Jay owes you something, show me the paperwork. I could see Jay-Z making and then that'll be it though. That'll be it though. If Jay owe you pay, show me the paperwork. That would be the only way, because Jay-Z don't respond to women. You see all the time Jaguar Wright was talking. He never responded to Jaguar Wright. You see that all the time MIA was talking, had stuff to say about Jay. He never responded to MIA either. So, but Nicki Minaj is so big, I could see him making a general statement on record, especially if he gets on the record with Megan, which is rumored. Right? It's rumored that him and Megan got a record coming on his new album. That would be sick. That would be sick. Jay-Z do a record with Megan inside. That would be crazy. Right? So his album, since we're in October, is going to probably come out the top of next year. I would love if he surprised everyone and gave it on New Year's Eve. That's some right? So if he does respond, no, I'm not on Wi-Fi. The connection should not be the connection should not be unstable. I'm not on Wi-Fi. I'm on Ethernet. Fuck out of here with that. So this record with the Big Pimpin' beat with Megan. So will this be the record? That's what I heard, Diana. That's what I heard. I heard he is going to get on that Big Pimpin' beat with Megan. But Jay, the reason why I have to hear it to believe it is that Jay never got back on a record that was previously his. So I would have to really hear it to believe it. I'm thinking if they have a record together, it's going to be a different record. But I do believe he cleared the Big Pimpin' record for Meg. Usually when there's talks like that around, it's usually true. But then again, sometimes it don't come out because I heard the Megan record to the 50 Cent beat. Then it was a Megan and Cardi record. I heard that record with my own ears, but they never dropped it. They never dropped it. So, and that's I was like, yo, they dropped Bongos instead. But they had another record. Cardi B and Megan had another record. So between that record and Bongos, and they picked Cardi B had Bongos, but she didn't have Megan on it at first. Cardi B was just on Bongos. Then she was like, I think I need another voice on here. So her people was trying to get her to get some Spanish person. So then they wanted the girl, what's the girl's name that got the baby by Anuel? So Anuel and Cardi B is cool. And Anuel wanted to put his baby mama. He wanted Cardi B to do a record with his, but she's not big enough to be on the record with Cardi B. So that's why Cardi B didn't choose her. Right? That girl sucks. I've never even heard her music. Like I just thought she was a big booty OnlyFans. I thought she was like an OnlyFans model or something. I didn't even know she had music. Jade said that girl sucks. But then I was like, Carol G. But Carol G, she probably knows not to do a record with Cardi B. She don't want to upset Nicki. Nicki will have a heart attack if Carol G goes and does a record with Cardi. Nicki would have a heart attack. So Carol G is probably like, you know what? I don't even feel like getting into it. I don't even feel like hearing nobody's mouth. So whatever. But they've been sick if Carol G would have gone on Bongos. Right? But Shakira is Cardi's girl. Shakira is Cardi's girl. So she could have put Shakira on that record. But she said she could hear Megan on it. It was a good record. I don't know what's on y'all's mind. I don't know why y'all didn't like Bongos. But I thought Bongos was fire. So put a one in the chat if y'all think Jay-Z will ever respond to Nicki Minaj. I know for a fact he won't respond to her on social media. But do you think he will address all of these allegations in one line? Maybe he makes a record. Because he will never say anything on social media about that woman. Like I said, Jay don't respond to women. But let me know if you think he will respond during a record. Or would Megan say something on Jay's behalf? Not speaking for Jay, but would Megan say something like she was starting rumors or false rumors, fake news. That would be interesting. If I'm Jay, if I'm Jay, I would tell Meg, who can rap her ass off, I would tell Meg to say something. Not saying that she's talking for Jay, but say something about, people being in his business, or like I said, if he owes you money, go take it to court. Some along those lines. That would be hilarious. He took shots at Khalees and Britney Spears. Jay-Z took shots at who? Khalees and Britney Spears. But were they in a beef? I don't think they were in no beef. He may have mentioned them in his record. But I'm saying in a beef, I've never known Jay-Z to respond to somebody that he's in a beef with or who has a beef with him. I've never known him to respond to, like I said, there haven't been many women who has said anything about Jay-Z. And he didn't respond to MIA. He never responded to Jaguar. And I don't think he's going to respond to Nicki Minaj either. Mainly because most of Nicki rants come online and comes on Twitter, and he just don't be hanging out on Twitter like that. And that's where Kanye West was saying all those things about his children. He didn't even respond to that. If he don't respond to that, he said he don't go back and forth on the internet. The only thing he respects is violence. You got to do something, Jay said. That's my nigga, boy. Jay the GOAT. That's the GOAT right there. What the GOAT said, y'all? All this back and forth on the internet. Nigga, we don't tennis that. Tennis, back and forth, you play tennis, you hit the ball back and forth, all this back and forth on the internet, and we don't tennis that. Do something. Do something. Jay said, the only thing I respect is hot leg. Do something. Go ahead. That's my GOAT. That's my GOAT right there. Jay said, y'all better go back and forth the internet and keep it there. He'll respond if you got some paperwork, though. So that's why I always said it. If you got some proof, bring him up on a lawsuit. I bet his ass will respond then. Him and Alex Spyro. Alex Spyro respond, you better be ready. You better be ready. So that's the only thing I say about Jay-Z. If you got accusations, you better have some proof. Because that boy got Alex Spyro. And Alex Spyro is not to be played with. So you better have some proof. T-Swizzle. T-Swizzle. So now, people was talking about how nobody likes this album. Oh, nobody likes this album. They're giving it a bad review. Right? She don't write the same now that she's in love. She even made a comment about it a few years ago. So a few years ago, Taylor Swift made a comment. She said, I'm afraid that if I fall in love and become satisfied, will that mess with me? Because can I only write great songs if I'm going through pain? Right? Uh-oh. She said, can I only write good songs if I'm going through pain? So people was arguing with me today saying, Taylor Swift, nobody likes your album. I said, Taylor Swift, the one that sold 1.2 million vinyls in one day, that Taylor Swift? Or is there another Taylor Swift I don't know about? Because if you sold 1.2 million vinyls in under 24 hours, and someone said, all this music and no impact. No impact, huh? I said, oh, okay. So selling 1.2 million vinyls, that's no impact? And then people always go into this, Taylor Swift has no talent. Taylor Swift has no talent. Right? So people tend to say that about Taylor Swift because she doesn't dance and she is an average singer. But it's more to talent than just singing and dancing. There's more to talent. Taylor Swift can play 5 instruments. It don't take talent to play instruments. Have you think you know what, Jade? I think Beyonce would respond before Jay-Z. Because when you read Beyonce's little that little soliloquy that she wrote for that concert, she was shading people in that. And then you got Mama Tina. She was shading Nicki Minaj without a doubt. Without a doubt. Talking about, instead of trying to bring people down and start baseless rumors. That's happening right around the time that this thing with Nicki and Jay-Z was going on. So I can very easily hear Beyonce responding before I can hear Jay-Z. Because it's happened before. It's happened before. Right? I'm not even going to speak on them anymore because I get tired of people with their false stories. Oh, they fell out because this, that. No, they didn't. That's not the reason why. I already told y'all the reason why. It's not the reason why. And they are not cool. Beyonce sent everybody a damn bag. She was sending Kim Kardashian Ivy Parker. She don't fuck with Kim Kardashian like that. Beyonce just sends that just to get her product out there. so people can see her product. And people say, "Oh, she said a happy birthday. She said a happy birthday." Beyonce just doing that because that's her brand. That keeps her image up as the mother, the godmother right now that checks on everybody. So of course, it's so and so birthday. Send us some Ivy Park, Jay. I heard it's Fantasia birthday. No good and damn well she don't fuck with Fantasia like that. Send her some Ivy Park. I heard it's Onika birthday. Send her some Ivy Park. It's not a big deal. But they ain't been cool for a minute. And even recently, remember when Nicki said something about that verse? And they were like, "Oh yeah, see, she they good. She's playing her song with Beyonce." And then what Nicki come back and say, "Oh, just because I played somebody's song, that don't mean I rock with them." And who else could she be talking about? It happened right after the Beyonce song. Right after the Beyonce song. And everybody was like, oh, that means they good because she played that song, the Flawless remix. And Nicki Minaj said, just because I play somebody's song, that don't mean I rock with them. It just might be one of my favorite verses. So why would she make that statement if she wasn't talking about Beyonce? Because that's who everybody was talking about. Now, before I get back to T Swizzle, I want to ask people a question that makes this statement. And this is the stupidest statement. No, what I'm saying is, Ariana, I'm not saying she has a beef with Fantasia, but like she don't rock with Fantasia like that. I mean, but they don't have a beef. But there's certain people that Beyonce rock with, and there's certain people that she don't really rock with. You know what I mean? Like she don't have a beef with Sierra, but she don't really rock with Sierra like that. You know what I'm saying? And she don't have a beef with Fantasia, but she don't rock with Fantasia like that. Mm-hmm. Beyonce pretty much keep it simple. Alicia Keys, she rock with Alicia Keys. She rocks with Megan for now, to a certain level, to a certain extent. She rocks with Kelly Rowland, of course, her group, Michelle. There's only a handful of people that Beyonce really rock with. All right? Only a handful of people. So here's what, then I'm going to get back to Taylor. Here's what I've been seeing that people are delusional. Okay? I'm gonna put it up there. So this is what I hear a lot of people say. And I just laugh. Nicki don't have a problem with Beyonce. She just has a problem with Jay-Z. Well, who's Jay-Z's wife? I mean, who's Beyonce's husband? So if you got a problem with Kenneth Petty, right? Don't you think you got a problem with Nicki Minaj? She has said that on her own in the past. If you got a problem with my husband, you got a problem with me. If you don't like my husband, then you don't like me, because that's my husband. So why don't Nicki fans think that that applies for Beyonce too? Why do you think that that don't apply for Beyonce too? Don't you think that Beyonce sees everything you're saying about her husband? Any wife is going to feel that way. If you got a problem with my husband, then you got a problem with me. Any real wife. But her fans want to say, no. She don't got no problem with Beyonce. She just got a problem with Jay-Z. If you got a problem with Jay-Z, then you got a problem with Beyonce. Because when they make the comment, oh yeah, you go up there and make that old bull BS speech at the Grammys, and then the next thing you know, this happens. Who did he make the speech for? Who did he make the speech for? For his wife, right? Said his wife had never won Album of the Year. Then when she won Album of the Year, Nicki said something slick like, oh, people going up and making announcements, something about the system, and got the Grammys on payroll. Who won the Grammy? Beyonce, not Jay-Z. So who was in 10 cents? Who were you shading? You were shading Beyonce. Don't give me that. If you're shading Jay-Z about his tactics, well, who was he using those tactics for? He was talking to the Grammy people about his wife not ever winning Album of the Year. Then his wife won Album of the Year. Oh, God, niggas got Grammys on payroll. Who had just won the Grammy? Beyonce. So you can't say you got a problem with Jay-Z, but not Beyonce. You calling him camel? So you think Beyonce is okay with you calling her husband a camel? You think Beyonce is okay with you saying her husband murdered Kathy White? You think Beyonce is good with that? Oh, she talking about Jay. She ain't talking about me. Then she said, I'm going to speak on your kids next. So all the Nicki fans, please cut the BS. Please. Because if she is shading Jay-Z, she's shading Beyonce. Because that's her husband. Just like if you're shading Kenneth Petty, you're shading Nicki Minaj. And vice versa. You think Nicki is going to be cool with somebody that say, yeah, her husband is a PDF. Oh, I'm not talking about Nicki. Nicki cool. I'm just talking about her husband. No, she going to be like, nigga, what? You talk about my husband. You might be talking about me. And she has said that in the past. If you got a problem with my husband, you got a problem with me. And that's the way it should be. All right? Capiche? Now, they said that this damn Taylor Swift, they said she might do 4 million. Might break Adele's record. Adele's record is 3.8. Man, they talk about this damn T-Swizzle doing 4. Not 4, 4. They talk about Taylor doing 4. Hold on. Let's see here. Let's get it. What's the name of her new album? Taylor Swift. What's the name of her new album? Hold on. Trending. But they tell me she don't have no impact and no talent. Taylor Swift directs and stars in The Fate of Ophelia. Video breaks streaming records. But they tell me Taylor Swift just sells and streams. She ain't got no impact. Writing, rehearsing, directing, and shooting the music video, The Fate of Ophelia, was a thrill of a lifetime. Then she put it up in the studio, in the theaters, and broke records in the theaters. So now, here we got people. I'm going to assume that is Taylor Swift in a beef with somebody? Because Taylor Swift have never been a feminist or a girl's girl. She has only used her influence and fame to bring down other female artists. Because at the end of the day, she is a privileged, billionaire white woman. Now, who has Taylor Swift brought down? She had a beef with Katy Perry, but that was something totally different. That had to do with a dancer or something like that. So who has Taylor Swift brought down? People making comments like with no backing whatsoever. Who has Taylor Swift brought down? Who? The Fate of Ophelia has already earned the biggest U.S. unit sales debut for any song of 2025 with over 300,000 sold. Fastest selling single of the year. And they tried to tell me that Taylor was finished. Taylor Swift is officially the first person to be hated on for simply being too successful. That's a lie. Jay-Z and Beyonce was hated on way before Taylor Swift for being too successful. Jay-Z and Beyonce. Matter of fact, Oprah Winfrey. Now, if you said artist, first person, no. Maybe if you want to say artist, you still would have been wrong because Jay-Z and Beyonce have been hated on long before for being too successful. And the first person, LeBron James. Well, if you talk about somebody that don't do nothing to nobody and does nothing but positive stuff for his community and positive stuff for black people, LeBron James. Don't got a bunch of baby mamas, got one black wife, so you can't say, oh, he left her from a white woman, just like they do when they get rich. That's what black women's knock on on black men. Oh, they leave your ass for a white girl. LeBron James got the same woman, kids all by that woman, don't got a bunch of baby mamas, don't got no scandals, stands up for his people, opened up a school and paid for black kids to go to college. He is single-handedly probably the most giving celebrity since I can remember, since Michael Jackson. And people hate his guts. Did everything the right way, put his friends on, made his friends all millionaires. And people hate him. So you wrong there, Taylor Swift fan. Beyonce, Jay-Z, and LeBron James was hated on long before you. You really just now starting to get hate. Like universal hate. Of course, there's always going to be people that don't like you. Like, not everybody's going to like you. So there's always going to be people that say, oh, Taylor Swift is corny or this, that, and the other. But Taylor Swift really just started getting universal hate. Right? So she is on pace. She's on pace to break Adele's record for the album 25. Yo. On pace to sell 4 million in the first week. I don't know whether y'all into the album. I did give the album a listen. And again, I'm not big on Taylor Swift music. I do know Taylor Swift songs, though. Like, if you tell me, name 20 Taylor Swift songs, I could probably do it. I know I could definitely name 10. But I could probably name 20 if I think hard enough. So I'm not really big on Taylor Swift music, but I did give this album a listen. It was pretty good. It was all right. I definitely liked it better than Doja Cat's album. I definitely liked it better than Doja's album, who's only going to probably do about 53,000. I don't know what happened to Doja Cat. I don't know whether it was she came out there and telling all her fans that, oh, she only made pop music because she knew that they would buy it, because y'all buy anything that don't have no real substance to it. I know y'all would buy it, and that's what got me up in my mansion. Like, I don't know whether people remembered her saying that, and now she's back to pop music after the rap thing didn't really work or didn't really go the way she thought it was going to go, even though I did like a lot of her rap records. But I think that Doja Cat thought she was going to do way better on the rap tip. Now she's back to the pop music, and a lot of her fans was like, oh, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. You told us you don't really like doing pop music, but you just do it because you know there's a lot of stupid people that will buy it. That's what you told your fans. And they probably remembered that you said that. probably remembered that you said that. Because this is nowhere close to where you sold 108 of Planet Her. You sold 108 of Planet Her. You sold 76 of Scarlet. You done did a tour. You done did TV shows, performances, and you're only gonna, and this is your new album, and you're only doing 53K? You gotta think back, sis, to when you were disrespecting your fans. 109 for what? Planet Her? Yeah, Planet Her. 109, right? 108, 109. You act like I said 90. 108, 109, 107, 110. It really don't matter. In that facility. On top of that, she's never had a number one album. That's crazy. And she's not going to get another one this album. Never had a number one album. So you can't tell people they were pretty much stupid for buying other music and you only made that stupid music to get rich. That's pretty much what you told them. This is what I really do. She said she's really a rapper. That's the type of music she wants to do, rap music. So she came out with Scarlet, and I admit Scarlet was good. And Doja Cat, Doja Cat even had me apologizing. I remember when I came on, if anybody remembered, I went on YouTube. The song might still be there, but I made that song about Doja Cat. Candy bars, you won't go far. Your bars so sweet. No, I said something. Candy bars. I said, so, I said Doja Cat got candy bars, right? So then right around the time that Scarlet came out, Doja Cat's management team hit me up and said, she got something for you. Everybody remembers I put the tweet in my in my video and everything. I said, oh, shoot, they must have saw my video. Doja Cat must have saw my video. She said, she got something for you. So Scarlet came out. I did listen to Scarlet, and I liked it. And she rapped way better than I thought. So I came back on and gave her tracks. I said, okay, you don't got candy bars. At least not on this album. You don't got candy bars. And you can rap. Way better than I thought. But then, I don't know. I don't know. She just does dumb stuff. Like, she does dumb stuff like for no reason. Coming on live, farting on live, like just doing nasty stuff. Having her feet like pitch black dirty and showing her dirty pitch black feet on live. Like, why are you doing that? just shit that don't make sense. She's in the tub, farting in the tub, and then watching the bubbles come up, and she's sitting there laughing like that's funny. Like, girl, what are you doing? So I'm a little surprised. I'm a little surprised that this album didn't do better than that. Now, I didn't really like what I said. Violet and Bloom said, "An ocean and violets in bloom." Animals strike curious poses. Can't you feel the heat? The heat between me and you. so Violets of Bloom said she liked V. Violets of Bloom said she liked V. Or Vi, I think it might be V. Right. And I didn't think it was that bad, but I thought because of her fan base, she was gonna, it would do more than that. It's doing less than Scarlet. So I don't know where it goes for Doja Cat after this, because I'm shocked. By letting her drop after Cardi, I don't know. I don't think. I mean, well, Cardi, but why would you think that had something to do with it? It's not. Cardi did 200K, but she dropped after Cardi. She dropped the following week, right? She didn't drop the same week, and her album's not even a rap album. So you think that had something to do with it? I don't know why it would, because it's not like, now if she was dropping a rap album, maybe, or if they were dropping on the same week, maybe. But I don't know. I don't know if that really has anything to do with it. I think that her fan base, a lot of her fan base left her. I mean, let's just be honest. Let's just be honest. A third of her fan base was Barb's, right? Some of the Barb's did not fully leave her by Scarlet. There was still some hanging on to that Say So remix. Even though Nicki Minaj has told them in so many ways, 1,000,000 times, she don't fuck with Doja Cat. But her fans just refuse to take a damn hint. I've seen Nicki Minaj. I've been on calls with people from Nicki's camp that told me personally, you were onto something on your members only. I did a members only about Give It To Me, yeah. Give it to you, yeah. Give it to me, yeah. The fuckers in the dog, give it to me, yeah. The fuckers in the dog, give it to me, yeah. Right? So I did a members only video about Give It To You. And the Barbs was all creaming on themselves because she said, "Thank you, Nicki. I will." And I said, y'all are all gagging over that. But what are you gagging for? What are you gagging for? And then remember the time, right around that time, Nicki unfollowed Doja Cat. Remember she did that unfollow, and then she started following people back, right? And everybody's like, hey, all the Barbs was like, hey, yoo-hoo, mother, you forgot to refollow Doja Cat. And they kept saying that to Nicki Minaj, and she kept ignoring them. Mother, are you gonna refollow Doja Cat? You unfollowed her, and now you're following people back, but you didn't follow Doja Cat back. And Nicki kept on ignoring them. Finally, they said it again. What about Doja Cat? Are you gonna refollow her? She gave you a shout out on Give It To You. She said, I love you, Nicki. And Nicki Minaj finally, during one live, said, y'all need to follow me. I know what I'm doing. I know who I follow and who I don't follow. So if I have not refollowed somebody, just know it's for a reason. Don't burn them yet. Don't burn them yet. No, it's for a reason. So what she was trying to tell her fan base was, I unfollowed Doja Cat because I did not appreciate that bullshit she pulled. And somebody asked why they fall out. I'll tell you why. And the bullshit she's talking about was, you asked me to get on Give It To Ya, right? You asked me to get on that record. I told you I didn't want to get on that record. Maybe we'll do a different record. But that record, I didn't want to get on. So what does Doja Cat do? Since Nicki doesn't get on the record, Doja Cat puts the record out and she drops a verse sounding like Nicki. Because the original version, for what I hear, was not like that. She was not rapping like that. Now that Nicki Minaj tells her, I don't want to get on this record, you go and put the record out and mimic my voice on the record? Bitch, is you crazy? And then have the nerve to say, thank you, Nicki? Thank you for what, bitch? I didn't do the feature. What are you thanking me for? And Nicki Minaj took that as sarcastic. She didn't take that as love. But her stupid ass fans, oh, Doja Cat loves Nicki. Nicki Minaj was like, what the fuck you saying thank you for? For stealing my flow? Maybe that's what you say thank you for. And if you notice, Doja Cat kept doing it, and then Nicki fans keep coming back to her saying, oh, Doja Cat was in concert, and she said, look, thank you, Nicki, I love you again. Has Nicki Minaj ever once, if you notice, has Nicki Minaj ever once shouted Doja Cat out since then? All the time she done shouted out Nicki in concert. Nicki ain't said no thank you for the shout out. Nicki's never paid her dust. She's paid her dust ever since then. And Nicki don't like, she don't want to tell her fans, listen, are you effing stupid? So that's why she tried to talk to nice and say, y'all, just follow me. If I'm doing something, best believe I know I did it. You don't have to tell me refollow. Oh, you forgot to refollow. I didn't forget. I didn't forget to refollow Doja Cat. I didn't refollow her for a reason. All right? So when she finally jumped on the Scissor record, I think that's when the Bobs started seeing it. When Nicki was trying to go number one with the I believe it was a Ice Spice song, or it may have been the song "A Little Baby." I think it was the Ice Spice song, the Barbie song, maybe. And remember, it was battling #1 with SZA, and then all of a sudden, Doja Cat jumped on the SZA remix of Kill Bill. That's when the Barbs was like, "Oh, so you jumping on bitches' records to try to get her to #1 when Nicki's record's out and it's battling for #1." And Doja Cat went and jumped on the record and didn't even get credit for it. So it's not like she did it to get her a #1. That that remix did not sell more than the original. So it helped push it to #1. But Doja Cat didn't even get credit for that #1. And that made Nicki fans even more pissed. So I think that, and then the whole Hilga, what is that thing? Hilga something rhyme about Hilga, whatever the hell that they were calling people. Nicki Minaj, people that don't like Nicki Minaj was calling her Hilga something, and then Doja Cat put that in her rap. Now, if that ain't enough to make you think that she was throwing shade, I don't know what to tell y'all. I don't know what to tell y'all. Oh, right. Cardi called her Hilga something, and then didn't Doja Cat, like shortly after that, said that same name on her album. Now, if that don't tell you something, I don't know what to tell you. All right. People got to learn how to read lyrics. Read lyrics. Whatever come out people's mouth on record, if it seems like shade, more, oh, from Hey Arnold. If it seems like shade more times than none, it is. It is. Just like they tried to tell me. Just like they tried to tell me. Hold on a minute. Let me look at these dates. And okay, June 12th, 2020, right? So hold on. April 9th. Just like people argued and fought and argued. See, what it is people hate to be wrong because I am a master at dissecting lyrics. And that's just like how when people wanted to tell me that on April, what record did Beyonce say, if you want to see some real ass, come if you want to see some real ass? Wasn't that the Savage remix? That was a Savage remix, right? I believe that dropped in April of 2020. Isn't that the record that Beyonce said, right? And then, right. And then didn't Nicki say that real ass ain't keep your nigga home? Didn't she say that on Trolls? Didn't she say that real ass ain't keep your nigga home? She said that on Trolls, right? Which came out, I believe, after Savage Remix. All right? But people gonna tell me she was talking about Jennifer Lopez. Why the hell would she talk about Jennifer Lopez? No. No. Lisa Ray said nothing about real ass. She said nothing about real ass. That was not a response to Lisa Ray. Lisa Ray said nothing about real ass. That keep your nigga home was a shot at Beyonce. And I'll tell you why. Because in the same record, right? In the same record, hold on. Lyrics. Beyonce, Savage Remix, right? Beyonce said in Savage Remix, where's the line? Hold on. I don't know if this is the one with Beyonce. I need the one with Beyonce. So, in Savage, and this is how you can tell, right? In Savage Remix, and don't y'all dare tell me though, because like I said, I know how to wait out lyrics. Now remember, they had fell out already. She made the real ass line, right? So Beyonce said, TikTok, OnlyFans, Cheek, says Tina, blah, 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 blah. Hold on. Let me find this. Let me find the other line. Let me find the line. Hold on. The pain. Hold on. Hey, TikTok, Dad, OnlyFans, man, take the chance on my brain. The later, sleep. I'm a savage. You want a bitch, saying? Okay, I have to find the line, but you gotta let me find it. But I have to find it. But then I started hearing, oh, it was Jennifer Lopez. Why the hell would she be responding to Jennifer Lopez? Jennifer Lopez hadn't said anything about Nicki Minaj. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. It's just that people don't want it to be Beyonce. Why not? Why not? You wanted to have smoke with everybody else, but you never wanted to be Beyonce. They don't rock with each other no more. They don't rock with each other anymore. She don't rock with Nicki Minaj no more. Nicki Minaj don't rock with Beyonce no more. So why wouldn't it be a shot? Why can't she take a shot at her? They don't rock no more. Everybody always want her taking shots at Cardi. They always want her taking shots at Megan. They want to take a shots at everybody else. But whenever it's Beyonce, oh no, she wasn't talking about Beyonce. She was talking about J-Lo. Oh, she was talking about Lisa Ray. Oh, she was talking about Lil Kim. Oh, she wasn't talking about Beyonce. She was talking about Candace Owens. Like, it's always somebody other than Beyonce. When the only person who said anything about real ass during that time was Beyonce. And who made the record about their man cheating on them? Who told the whole world that Jay-Z cheated on her multiple times? Which man would she be talking about with Lisa Ray? Her husband 15, 20 years ago? Why would she be talking about that? Why would she be talking about that? The only man that Lisa Ray was with that she left was her husband 15 years ago or somewhere around there. Why would Nicki Minaj be talking about her instead of the woman who just said 2 months prior? Come on now. And they weren't messing with each other anymore. They wasn't effing with each other anymore. Beyonce had showed love to Remy Ma after the Cheetah. Beyonce and Rihanna was showing love to Remy Ma. That's when she wasn't messing with Rihanna either. Her and Rihanna had to rekindle their friendship. They had fell out for a couple of years themselves. I guess y'all gonna say that wasn't real either. So, anyway, the girl T Swizzle. Let's go back and finish up this show with my Taylor Swift take. If Taylor Swift, right? I think Britney Spears is awesome just because she has this aura, being around her in real life. People just change, and she's just so awesome that way. She has this aura that people just can't resist. Maybe the old Britney did. I don't know about this Britney. The old Britney probably did. The Britney Jean that I met. The Britney Jean that I met. Yeah. She had that type of aura. When I'm backstage, so I met both Britneys. Because the one right now, I don't call her Britney Jean. I call her like Whitney Dean. Because this ain't the same girl. I don't care what nobody says. I was around both of those Britney Spears. No, that is not Britney Spears. That is not Britney Jean Spears. That might be Britney Dean or Whitney Jean. That is not Britney Jean Spears. I swear on my life. That is not her. That is not her. I don't know what they did with Britney Jean Spears. I do not know. I can't tell you that. But I can tell you that this girl right now that's spinning around in the house over and over and over and over and over again with dog poop on the floor, that's not my Britney Jean. So when I met Brittany Jean backstage, that was during this is the ironically the 2000 MTV Music Awards when she did I can't get no satisfaction. I can't get no satisfaction. That's right. That's right. when when she sung that at the MTV Music Awards, I met her backstage then. And let me tell you something. Other than J Lo, other than J Lo, I have never, ever smelt somebody that smelled so good. This is after this woman came off stage. I said, man, this woman, she smelled like warm strawberries. And she had just performed. And she met me and she smiled so nice and big. And she was like, thank you for coming. And I was like, yeah, we have to link up like we shoot parties and, telling us stuff like that. Oh, great, great. I'll give you my manager's number. So nice and polite, right? Then when she started the real Britney's under the basement at Cedar Sinai, that's where they had that Miss Fields. That's funny. That's the old conspiracy theory about where they're hiding all the celebrities. Say Kanye's under there, Dr. Dre, Eminem. That's the old conspiracy theory. They hiding all the clothes. They hiding all the original ones underneath in the basement of Cedar Sinai. Got them in straight jackets. I'm telling you, hey, it's me. You see what Miss Fields said? Under the basement at Cedar Sinai. I'm telling you, that might be where they are. Cause that's an old conspiracy theory. Yep, they said that's where Kanye at. So so then when I went to the Vegas show, right? When I went to the Vegas show, first of all, she came backstage. She was looking like she never saw me before in my life, right? Then she was so rude. This Britney was rude. She looked like she never saw me before. She was like, what's he doing back here? And then they were like, oh, he had the press pass. And he said that he, had met you before, and you gave your manager, and then she was just like, whatever, whatever. So I was like, that's not how she was before. And then she walked past, and let me tell you something, guys. She walked past, and I smelt like her wind when she walked past. I said, I was like, nope, nope, that ain't Britney Jean. This bitch even smelled like a clone. I was like, that is not Britney Jean Spears. I don't know who y'all think y'all fooling with that damn gap in her teeth. Britney Jean ain't have no damn gap in her teeth. That's the first thing. The second thing, she was the nicest person ever. And she was so nice, and she smiled at me, gave me a hug, like she was nice. This Brittany Jean or Whitney Dean, whatever her name is, she was rude. She was like, oh, what's he doing back here? And then they told her, and she was like, okay, whatever, whatever. And then she didn't talk to me nothing. Then, like I said, The first one that walked past, I was like mesmerized by her smell. Only Jennifer Lopez smells better than Britney Spears. Only Jennifer Lopez, because I smell Jennifer Lopez from down the hall. This bitch got a. Let me tell you something about J-Lo. J-Lo got a scent. This bitch got a ghost scent. J-Lo got a scent that arrives a half a minute before her. Because I was actually in the this is when I worked for ESPN. I'm in the ESPN building, right? J-Lo was going to another building inside the ESPN building. So I'm out there in the hallway. I'm like, damn, what is that smell? Like, damn, that shit smell good. But I look around, I don't see nobody. I'm like, what is that scent? Right? But I didn't see nobody. Like a half a minute later, here comes J-Lo. And then she come, I'm like, oh shit, is that Jennifer Lopez? So she was coming up, she had a security guard with her, and then she had like two other workers. And as she's coming down the hall, this scent that I was smelling 30 seconds ago is starting to get closer. And then she walked past and I said, that's you? And she just turned around and smiled and said, that's right. And kept moving. Oh, that was so sexy. And I've never seen her. I only saw her one time. I never had a conversation with her. The only thing she said was, that's right. Shit. That woman smells so good. I was like, wow. This bitch's scent shows up before her. I was like, that's some expensive ass perfume. I don't know whether it was hers. I don't know whether it was her brand, her scent, whatever. But it was some expensive ass perfume because that motherfucker showed up a half a minute before she walked her ass around that corner. Oh, man. All right, so y'all can put in the chat what you think Taylor Swift's final number going to be. Do you think she's going to get 4 mil? Do you think she's going to get 4 million? I think Ray is going to be the next big star. Shit, I wish. How much time do I think Diddy will serve? Well, he got 50 months. That cat was marinated red if you have. I wish, Miss Fields. Kevon said, hold on. How much time do you think Diddy would get? So he got 50 months, which I thought was BS. Let's just say I'm going to go by, let's say he doesn't get a pardon. I think he'll do a little under 3 years. I think he'll do 2.5 years. That's what I think. I think he'll do 2.5 years. So I think Diddy will be out by I think he'll be out by 2027. I think he'll get out in 2027. But if he's offered all those programs that they said he can get, he could be out by next year, the end of next year for Christmas. best case scenario, I hope that's what happens. And then if I'm Diddy, if he do a drug point, he'll get out sooner, I think. Yeah, that's what I thought. And 3.8. So Jade thinks she's going to tie Adele. Ms. Fields says she thinks it's going to end up 2 million. Jade said 3.8. Yeah, I think, albums tend to slow down, right? I think it's going to slow down, and I don't think she'll get Adele. I don't think she'll make it to 3.8. I'm going to say, without looking at the numbers where they are now, I'm going to say she'll get to 3 point. I think she'll do 3.3. I think she'll come up 500K short of Adele. I'm going to say 3.3 million. That's what I think. You think Trump going to pardon him? Ariana, I think it's a possibility. If I think it's a possibility if Diddy was smart and he had his people working behind the scenes to try to get him and Trump on the phone. Now, if he apologizes to Trump and say, listen, bro, I was on drugs. I've been on drugs the last 25 years. I was on drugs. You know how it gets. You got to ride with your people. I was trying to ride with my people. It's not nothing personal to you. We always had a good relationship. You know what I mean? It was them damn Democrats who tricked me. Who tricked me, Don? The Democrats tricked me. I was on drugs. Them damn Democrats and sleepy Joe Biden and crooked Hillary and all them. They tricked me, Don. Come on, man. I had an unfair system. They taught me, you know how the Southern District of New York is? They treated you bad, too. Come on, Don. Did his mom really have brain surgery? Yes, she did. She did. His mother really did have brain surgery. And he can also tell that to Trump and say, this judge didn't even care. Don, I told him about my mother having brain surgery. This guy didn't even care. And he's a Joe Biden appointed judge. Come on, Don. Joe Biden appointed him. Diddy didn't get a lot of time at all, and people are upset about it. See, Takesha, the only reason I'm not upset about it is because, first of all, he got more than everybody else that gets busted for the Mann Act, right? The only people they seem to get, there's always black people, but I mean, I guess you could look at it like, damn, R. Kelly would have loved to get what Diddy got. Hell, R. Kelly got 15 years for his, right? Or maybe even 30. Yeah, because it's 2 women. R. Kelly got 30 years for his. But Diddy only got the Mann Act. So the lawyer was sitting there and said, we went through 900 cases. And out of 900 cases, the average jail time was no longer than 2 years. So for everybody, there was a guy there that got caught with a 14-year-old. He was doing a Mann Act with a 14-year-old, and he only got a year, and that was involving a minor. So it was Diddy's. That was just people who don't like Diddy. But if you're going to go according to the law, he really got too much time. Now, if the judge want to say, "Oh, I'm going to teach him a lesson," but you're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to do that. I know a lot of people wanted him to do that, but he couldn't really do it because he knows there's a guideline he has to go by. And if he would have sentenced Diddy to 11 years, they would have overturned that immediately. And no judge likes to be overturned. So that's the reason why he came out and said, the prosecution was doing too much. They wanted too much. Probation suggested 70 months. But the reason why he gave 50 months is because he don't want, when they go to appeal, he don't want them saying, "Oh, he was totally unfair," because probation said 70 months. He didn't even give him what probation said he should get. So I know a lot of people say Diddy got off easy, but according to the guidelines, he really didn't. He really got more time than everybody else. Right? Now, I know that people say, "Oh, that's because of, the coercion in the force," but they said he didn't. The jury, again, and this is going to be the basis for their appeal. The jury heard everything that the judge heard. That savvy 12 jurors from New York, my hometown, born and raised. They had 12 savvy New Yorkers of all different races, mostly white, and all different and both genres. Age gap, different age gaps, from 25, I think it was, to like 70. So they covered the age gaps. They covered the men and women, and they covered black and white and Asian and this. And they heard Cassie's story. They sat right there in the courtroom and they heard Cassie. They sat right in the courtroom and they heard Jane. They sat in the courtroom and they heard Kid Cudi. They sat in the courtroom and heard Capricorn Clark. They sat in the courtroom and heard Brianna Bogelin. They sat in the courtroom and heard Mia. They heard all those people that the judge heard and that the prosecution heard. And guess what they said? We don't believe you were forced. We don't believe he forced you. You know what hurt Cassie? I'll tell you right now, and if they ever talk to one of the jurors, let me tell you what hurt Cassie, and I'm going to tell you what hurt Jane. The two things, the two lines that hurt Cassie's case was, "I did it because I didn't want him to get another girl to do it. I did it because I loved him. And I didn't want him to think I was against him. And I did it because I didn't want the next bitch to do it." That really hurt Cassie. And the second thing that hurt her was, when you left him in 2018, right? Why did you leave him? Because I found out he was still dating Gina. I found out he was still dating Gina. And then at Kim Porter's funeral, he said Kim Porter's the love of his life. And that's when I knew I was done with him. So you mean to tell me he whooped your ass, he dragged you, he kicked you, he punched you, he had men urinate in your mouth, He gave you sores in your mouth, humiliated you, never put your album out, verbally embarrassed you, allegedly assaulted your friends, allegedly tried to extort your mama, and then the hotel. He did all that. And after all that, you went back to him every time. That wasn't the last straw. But when you found out you were sharing him with Gina, now you're done? So that's what made you done? Not the whooping your ass? Only 3 years, 4 years and 2 months, over a year is taken away from that. That was a slap on the wrist from what he was up against. People are talking mess and saying stuff to his kids and everything. Well, again, that is the disgusting part of people. Right. And Ms. Fields, he sat on that stand and never once said that Diddy SA'd him. Now all of a sudden, Diddy SA'd him. Boy, if you don't sit your ass down somewhere, you know good and damn well. Let me tell you something. Just think about this. Right? Think about this. Diddy paid men, right? Diddy paid men and didn't sleep with them. Paid the men. So he's going to try to sleep with you and he didn't pay you? He paid men and didn't sleep with any of them. But he's going to try to sleep with you and he didn't pay you a dime. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Who you think you fooling? And no funny stuff, no homo, no pause and everything else. Did you see those strippers? Now, I don't judge men, right? But did you see those strippers? Did you see their physiques? Most of them are good-looking dudes. So if they're still good-looking now, imagine what they looked like 10, 15 years ago. And Diddy didn't try to sleep with any of them. But you see Deontay Nash? So Diddy ain't going to try to sleep with them men. But he wanted Deontay Nash. Man, stop it. Stop it. Stop. Deontay Nash wants money. He's Cassie's friend. Him, Cassie, and Mia all sat around and told their story to each other. Shout out Gina. Gina strutted her little thick Chinese ass or thick Asian ass up in that damn courtroom. Gina don't give a fuck. I'm telling you, y'all men, y'all need a Gina. We all need a Gina in our life. If you gonna tell me, Diddy, when you get out of jail, you better give Gina a baby. You better give Gina a baby or a ring. Fuck a baby. If I was Diddy or I come out of jail, I'm marrying Gina. Because Gina is a ride or die. Like Gina said, man, I ain't coming to testify for y'all. You see, Jane Doe and he waited till he got sentenced to sue. Yep, exactly. Jane Doe, and Cassie folded. Gina didn't fold. Gina said, "Man, F that. F that. I'm not, hell no. I'm not saying about that about my boo. You were a victim. You said it on Tasha K. You were a victim." Gina said, "Who's Tasha K?" Gina bad, boy. I like some Gina, boy. Diddy, if you don't marry, you better give her a baby. You better, Gina, here, you get a baby when you come out. Because I don't think Diddy gonna marry anybody because he don't want to give up half his money. But Diddy, when you come out of jail, you better give Gina a baby. She deserves it. She said, "Who's Tasha K?" "What do you mean, who's Tasha K?" "The one you did the interview with." Gina said, "Oh, I was high. I was high during that whole interview. I don't even remember half the stuff I said." "You were a victim. You were sex trafficked." Gina said, "I was not sex trafficked." "Yes, you were. You were sex trafficked. You were forced into prostitution." Gina said, "I have never been forced to sleep with anybody. I never slept with any of those escorts. I never did a threesome with him and any of those escorts. So no, I was not forced into prostitution. Anything that I did with him, I did on my own free will." Yes, Gina showed up, Miss Fields. She walked in that courtroom and went and sat right by the family. Go ahead, Gina. I need me a Gina. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Gina. Strutted her little thick. And first of all, she thick and she aged, and I don't even know how that happens. But Gina strutted her little thick ass in there and said, "I'm sitting by the family." Go ahead, Gina. I like some Gina now. Yep. She's showing up there. Went right in there and sat by the family. And she exposed the prosecution for their dirty games. She exposed them in that letter. She said, "The prosecution told me that I was going to testify. But then, when they saw that I wasn't with the games, all of a sudden, I'm not testifying no more." Yep. She's showing up there. The only reason she didn't sit behind the family because there wasn't no room. But she went and sat in the aisle behind the family on that same side. Sure did. Gina said when he come out, I'm gonna be good. Even Young Miami didn't hang around. Young Miami unfollowed him and everything else. Now, even though she unfollowed him because Diddy told her to, Diddy was looking out for Carisha. And he said, you got a good thing going on. If you attach yourself to me, if you stay attached to me, you're going to lose whatever deals you got. So, distance yourself from me, at least make it look like you ain't rocking with me no more. And then once all this is over, it is what it is. Because Carisha was gonna do like Gina did. Carisha was gonna do like Gina did, but Diddy said, "Nah, it's not a good look for you." See, Gina ain't got no show and all that other stuff, and she wasn't a rapper, and she don't have none of that stuff, right? So, but Carisha had a lot to lose, and Diddy said he don't want her to lose her endorsements and lose her game deal and her show and stuff like that. So that's why she unfollowed Diddy. Only for that reason. Yep. But I'm telling you right now, that damn Gina. I took a picture with Gina too, because Gina been around for a while. I took a picture with Gina back in 2016 when I filmed one of Diddy's parties. I filmed the Diddy party. That was my last one that I filmed too. I filmed the Diddy party, and I put my picture with Gina up plenty of times. It's probably still on my Instagram. I filmed the Diddy party back, and it may have been 2014 or 15. May have been 14. And I took a picture with Gina after the party. She been around a long time. So she was around actually when he was dating Cassie. So yeah, she been around a minute. But anyway, y'all, that's it. I'm gonna check y'all out tomorrow. We'll go live, probably the same time, 9 p.m. or so. Y'all make sure that y'all hit the like button. But if you haven't, before you leave out, hit the like button. If you want to support the kid, it's a $ Heaven Hollywood for the Cash App, or you can hit the super chat, which is below. And we're gonna be back tomorrow, man, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hope y'all have a good night. Thank y'all for rocking with me. We went live almost 3 hours, so much longer than usual. I usually do an hour on the weekdays, and then Friday night be the big show. But it was cool conversation. Thank y'all for hanging out with me, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace.